course, we're here for Slap News Future Watch with Branden Bordeaux. Coming up, Power Slap number 4. Excited to get the new blood in here, get him in Vegas, and see what he can do. Branden, how you doing, my man?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Let's get into it. What enticed you to join Power Slap?
Well, it was back when they started everything. I believe, what was it, in March when they started the road to the title? I started watching there. You know, I've always been a huge fan of the UFC and Dana White and all those guys. And when he announced the Power Slap there, you know, it just immediately caught my attention. It was something I was really invested in. I watched every episode of the road to the title. I've seen Power Slap 1, 2, and 3, so I've paid attention to all of it quite a bit. I've always been into you know, the combat sports and stuff. So when I seen this there, I thought it was kind of the perfect opportunity to try to join and see what we can do.
Awesome, my man. You know, you talked about combat sports. What kind of training do you have in the past, and do you have any you know, either professional or amateur experience competing?
Yeah, so I grew up my whole life wrestling. I've grown up an athlete my entire life. Wrestling was my biggest sports all the way through high school, and I went to a powerhouse high school at Hesperia High School, and we were all 4 years I was in high school. Our team was in and out of the state finals, team state finals. Freshman year, we were team state champions. My sophomore year, we were state runner-up. My junior year, we made the state semifinals. And then my senior year, we were also state runners-up. So then after high school, I planned to go to college. I was going to wrestle in college, and things just didn't work out. And that's when MMA was kind of really started taking off here in Michigan. And so me and a bunch of my buddies, actually, that we all wrestled with on the same high school team, we all got going at the same time. And I was in the amateurs. I was 5-0 as an amateur. I competed just for a couple of years, and then I had my firstborn son, and I had to get a job and to start taking care of the family. So I kind of cut back on fighting and such. And it was you know, it sucked to have to stop. And I was going to, after a couple of years, I was going to make a comeback. I planned on coming back. I was getting in really good shape, and I actually had an injury that kind of prevented me from coming back. So, you know, it was just unfortunate situation. And yeah.
Awesome, my man. Well, let's get into it, man. I mean, you definitely, you know, cruising through your IG, you definitely have a unique background. So where in Michigan are you from?
We're up in Freemont, Michigan, so the west side of Michigan.
Okay, awesome, my man. You know, you talked about MMA experience, you talked about having wrestling experience. Do you think, you know, the neck strength that you gain from wrestling is going to help you in Power Slap here be able to brace for those impacts?
Yeah, I think it plays a huge factor. You know, I've always felt like I had a strong neck, and like you said, from wrestling, you know what I mean? Your whole body, you know, the sport of wrestling is uncomparable to a lot of sports, and
Yeah.
you know, the neck strength and everything that you get from all of that is, I think that'll definitely help, you know, with taking the impacts and taking the slaps. And, you know, if you got a weak neck and you get slapped, you know, you're going to, you know, you go out a lot easier. So I think having that throughout my whole life and still can kind of continue in that into my, you know, adult life. And, you know, I think that having a strong neck is definitely a big factor in things.
For sure. Under that cap, do we have wrestling baldness?
No, I have hair.
Okay.
I just wear a hat all the time, but no, I'm not bald.
Oh, good, my man. Well, I mean, you know, it seems like you have 2 kids.
I have 4 kids, actually.
4 now. Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 now. Well, I went from 2 to 4 because I had a set of twins.
Oh,
I have
okay.
I have a 6-year-old son, and then I have a 5-year-old daughter, and then my twin girls actually just turned 3 as well. So we went from 2 to 4 quick.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
If wrestling didn't make you bald, I'm not sure how 4 kids has it yet. So you definitely got good hair genetics.
Yeah, there's definitely times, you know, they got you pulling their hair out, but it's fun watching them come up. And my son, you know, he's at that age where he's really getting into sports and stuff. And this year's going to be his first year wrestling, so we're real excited about that. The girls wrestling actually in Michigan starting to get real big as well. And I have hopes that the girls will want to, but it's not something I'm really going to kind of push onto them. You know, brother's going to start doing everything. And if that's something that they fall into, they start really liking what he's doing, you know, then I kind of encourage them to go into it more. But they're more my daughters are a little more on the girly side.
Awesome, man. Well, I see you guys have a kick fetish. Let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that. How did that all come about? And like, are you getting matching kicks for all your kids?
Yeah, so I don't know. It just kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, in high school, me and my friends, we kind of we get some cool shoes here and there, and now as an adult, I've kind of really gotten into it in the last couple of years more. I've gotten into it a lot more. I actually have a lot more that I haven't even posted on my IG. I haven't used IG that much. I'm gonna start using it more now and everything. But yeah, I've gotten into collecting shoes a lot lately. I follow a lot of people on Instagram and stuff, and I've gotten into stuff with them. I've gotten into buying and trading and stuff like that, and some of the higher end shoes. It's a pretty cool habit to get in, but the downfall is you get some of these expensive shoes, you know what I mean? And then people don't want to wear them. But I'm the type that's like, if I'm going to have these shoes, what good are they doing just sitting in a room? Or, you know what I mean? If you don't have, you're not showing them off all the time, or you're not, you know what I mean? You don't have people over all the time. Like, what good are they just sitting there? So I have a few pairs that I like to wear. Actually, I'll be bringing out to Vegas with me as well. And,
Yeah.
it's just been a kind of a cool thing, and you meet some cool people. Like I said, trading and buying and selling and stuff like that. We've met some pretty cool people and some real knowledgeable people. And some of the stuff's absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? You get into some of these collector shoes, and people are just spending, $50,000-$60,000 on a pair of shoes, and sometimes it's mind blowing. You know what I mean? That stuff's mind blowing.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. I mean, I probably have 50, 60 pairs of shoes myself, but you know what?
Yeah,
Every single pair is my size. So if one day I
yeah,
want to crack them out of the box, I can still wear them. People
yeah,
that
yeah,
buy
yeah.
shoes that, the drops and stuff, not in their size. I'm like, man, you guys are crazy because the values
Yeah,
go away. Like, what good are they?
yeah, exactly. So if you're buying, like you said, if you're buying shoes that are, too small or too big, or they don't fit you, and then, you buy them at a peak, and then all of a sudden you decline, you know what I mean? You got to hold on to them now and hope for them to come back up, or you just lost money on them. So no, I'm the
Yeah.
same way. It's just like, I would rather wear them, but there is some of them that get, pretty pricey, where you're like, I don't want to be walking out in the dirt and stuff with them. And it's kind of, and the thing is, I'm from a small farm town. So
Hmm.
it's not like I live in like the city and stuff like that, where, I mean, we're out in the sticks and out in the mud and stuff all the time. So it's not always the best environment to wear those kind of shoes in.
Totally, man, for sure. And I mean, you don't have access to them either. But
Right.
yeah, so cool, man. And great to see that. So let's talk about your day job. So you're a butcher.
Yep.
How did that come about? I mean, kind of a dying breed, I think. You're not seeing too many kids grow up these days and say they want to be butchers. So
Yeah, it is. It's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's a lot of older people and stuff that are in it, and it is, the younger generation coming up. There's not much of it at all. So um it was just before actually just after my son was born. Like I said, I kind of stopped MMA, you know what I mean, to kind of move over and start working.
Mhm.
And I actually just started in a meat department at a grocery store. I grew up on a dairy farm my whole life, and so I was no stranger to kind of meat departments and stuff like that, hunting and all that. And so I started in the meat department, and I kind of just started down at the as at the bottom. You start out as like just wrapping meat, and then you kind of just work your way up a little bit. You start cutting meat, and uh, I moved from one store, which was a Save a Lot. I moved over to a Leppinks, and I spent a couple years there. And I wanted to keep moving up. I'm the type of person, I don't want to just sit in the same spot my whole life. I don't, what I mean, I want to keep moving up and keep building. So I took a manager's job a couple years later. Went down to a store by Grand Rapids, and I was a manager there for a little bit. And then I wanted to learn how to do everything from like farm to table.
Mhm.
So I actually went and started working at a big USDA slaughterhouse down in Caledonia, which is south of Grand Rapids. And I spent a few years there, and I actually had to, like I said, I had got an injury. Well, I got injured there at work, and so I had to have an operation. And when I went to have that done, it was kind of the perfect timing. I brought my little brother down there. He still actually works in the dairy farm to this day when we're not doing our slaughtering stuff. But he was down there with me for about a year. And then when I went to have this operation, we're like, we're kind of getting sick of driving an hour and 20 minutes one way to work. And like you said, it's kind of a dying breed. There's not much of it, not much of it around. So we're like, maybe this is perfect timing to branch out on our own and start something on our own, take a risk. You know what I mean? And if you don't ever take a risk, you know what I mean? You can't, you might not succeed in some things. So we we took a risk and we started to open up our own thing with in mind that, there's not much of any of this around. And we actually started doing mobile slaughtering. So
Mhm.
that's kind of even more rare. A lot of it's, a lot of the slaughterhouses and stuff like that are people will trailer their animals into the slaughterhouse there. They slaughter and process and everything there. But
Mhm.
we have our own mobile rig that him and I built together, and we go around and do mobile slaughtering. So that's it's been a pretty cool thing. Him and I started it just over a year ago. You know what I mean? And we've literally started out at the bottom, and we've just been keep building and keep building and keep building, and things are getting a heck of a lot busier. And the more people that find out about us, the more our name gets out there, everything like that. The more business we're getting. So we're getting quite a bit busier. And then we also do deer processing during the fall time.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
that's another thing that keeps us, deer season hits, we get extremely busy as well. So we try to fit both of those going at the same time.
Hmm. No, absolutely, man. Definitely, unique, trade for sure.
Yep.
Cole Young's a taxidermist, kind of on that same
Yeah.
line, kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I've seen that.
unique and dying breed also.
Yeah.
What is it about, obviously your experience, with wrestling, MMA, working in a slaughterhouse. Do you feel like these kind of things are going to prepare you for Power Slap coming up here at Power Slap number 4?
Yeah. I think, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you got to have mental strength. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's not just, yeah, you got to have, physical capabilities as well, but you got to be, strong minded. And I think in all the things that I've thrown myself into, you've got to be, strong minded with a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
especially the sport of wrestling. Anybody who knows or has been involved in the sport of wrestling is, it's, a lot of the game is mental. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So the more mental strength you have with everything, the better off you're going to be.
Awesome, man. Very, very cool. Like, what's excited you the most, man? Have you ever been to Vegas? Do you know what you're getting into, or are you still kind of like sitting there with some unknowns?
I haven't been to Vegas. That's actually one of the I've actually flown to a few different countries and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but I've never been out to Vegas. I've always wanted to go out to Vegas, and so when I got this call for this opportunity, I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean? So it's something that I wanted to jump all over. So going out there to Vegas, seeing everything out there, being a part of the Power Slap, being involved in that, and meeting all the people that you get to meet out there, and uh, I think it's going to be a great thing, and I plan on being here for a long time. I plan on sticking around and putting my putting my stamping my name in this game, and help building the Power Slap League. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's been, obviously, it's no stranger that there's a lot of people who try to talk down on this and that and everything else, and it's it takes a lot of balls for people to step up and try to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? The athletes stepping in there, and these people who want to just, these keyboard warriors who just sit there and want to bash on things. You know what I mean? Are the ones that are hiding behind the screen. They're not the ones stepping up and actually trying to get involved and do these things. And it can be it can be a life changing opportunity. I mean, that's no secret. And but some of these people, like I was saying earlier about taking risks. You know what I mean? Like us jumping into starting our own business, everything.
Right.
Take a risk. What's the hurt to take a risk?
Absolutely, man. I mean, you're setting the expectations high for yourself. You're definitely taking some risks. Being part of it. But I think, like as you said, if you don't take those risks, you're not going to level up your life. So this is something that you plan to be around for a long time. You want to get out there. You want to prove yourself, and aim for yourself. And is that kind of where you see this going?
Yeah, yeah. I plan on, when I get involved in something, I don't just get involved in something for a participation trophy or just to try it out. You know what I mean? When I get into something, I fully get into it. I put my everything into it. So, the plan for me is to go as far as I possibly can go with this. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm gonna dive in head first, and I plan on becoming a champion. You know what I mean? And I plan on continuing, and as far as this league goes, I plan on sticking around for as long as possible.
Cool, man. What weight category are you going to compete at?
So this first one's going to be at light heavyweight. During the casting stuff and everything, I was at light heavyweight. Well, when the matchmakers had reached out to me, I was 4 weeks ago, so something like that. I was chatting with him, and I said, "Hey, could I potentially go down to middleweight?" I said, I'm about 192, 193 right now, and they were like, "Well, this one's gonna be at light heavyweight." I said, "But in the future, if you want to go down, you can go down." Well, then actually, they had gotten back to me a couple days later and like, "Hey, if you still want that to be at 185, we can go ahead and go down to 185." I was like, "All right, sweet." Well, about a week later, they reached out to me again, and they're like, "Hey, if it's okay, we're actually going to move you back up to light heavyweight." So I was like, I have that mentality of, anyone, anywhere, any weight. I don't care what it is. I'm coming in right now. I only weigh like 195, so I can make 185 really easily. I've been trying to pack on a few pounds to come up to light heavyweight, but so I plan on doing this first one at light heavyweight, and then I plan on going down to middleweight and hang around at 85 there for a little bit, and do what I can do down there. I plan on I plan on becoming champion. I plan on getting a few wins, get in there, become champion, and then I could bump right back up to light heavyweight. You know what I mean, and try to play two divisions.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. You know what? I appreciate you, man. Ask you one last question. Where can people follow you on social media as you get into this matchup and continue in Power Slap?
You can follow my Instagram. It's just at my first name, last name, Branden Bordeaux. My Facebook as well is Branden Bordeaux. I have a TikTok. I don't use my TikTok very much, but the more I get into all this stuff and whatnot, I'll definitely be keeping my social medias. You know what I mean, and for people to see what's going on and keep everybody updated with things.
Awesome, my man. Everybody, Branden Bordeaux, check him out. Coming up, Power Slap number 4, live from Las Vegas. With the confidence that he has and the experience, plan to be around for a very long time. If you're not doing so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment in the comments section below. If you have any questions for Branden, I'm sure he'll troll those questions, or we'll send him a DM and make sure we get those questions answered for you. All the best, man. Travel safe. Look forward to meet you in Vegas.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.